Hi, I'm Brian here, doing another video for you guys, and this time we're doing our top whatever, depending on whatever year it is, video of Transformers. It's the end of the year, so that means it's also the beginning of a different year, which means that we are going to do the top list things. You've seen these videos before, I'm pretty sure you get the theme. So this is the top 20 Transformers of 2020, not specifically ones that are released in 2020, just ones that I've purchased or received in 2020. Now, before we talk about the best, let's talk about the dishonorable mentions, because there's quite a few! I've been very vocal about Studio Series Barricade. I do not like the transformation of it, but at least it functions as a robot and a car. The reason why I say that is because I thought this was going to be the ultimate worst toy of 2020, and it's not. No, that title goes to this piece of garbage right here. Earthrise RC is basically everything you shouldn't do for a figure. It's probably the worst figure of the year, probably the worst figure of the War for Cybertron trilogy. That fell on the ground and I don't even care. Okay, I actually didn't do it on purpose, but now there's a huge crack. Number 20! When this figure was first revealed, I was not expecting to put it on the list, but this is Studio Series Megatron. And it's the first movie version with the wrong chest. Yeah, I just thought this would be too distracting, but the transformation is actually kind of interesting, especially how the legs spray out and become the wings. I think that's an interesting touch, and the silver paint job is remarkable, and he's big, he's bulky, he looks the part. Number 19 is my first Earthrise figure that isn't a Micromaster. This is Earthrise Grapple. I still really like it. It's got its charm. It's exactly what I wanted out of a Grapple. I mean, I love the Reveal the Shields version of it, but I wanted something more close to home, let's say. And I think this one pretty much nails it. Why is this still the only modulator figure I've received? This is Ironworks. And I love this construction theme he's got going on. I actually like the muddy look, the oily look of the paint applications. And the alt modes are fun. The transformation is kind of cool. And it's very creative what you can do with it. Number 17 goes to probably the best Constructicon I've gotten this year. It is Scrapper. I just love how the legs transform. I mean, he doesn't have that much articulation going for him, but how they do it is actually kind of smart. And I actually like a lot of the detailed elements regarding this toy, and it's about time we got a Scrapper. Oh, people are gonna hate me for this. Yeah, it's the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. When I started with Transformers, I started with the Cybertron series. And so when I saw this, I got super excited. I know it's a remold of Ultra Magnus, and it would do much better if they just started from the ground up. But it's the fact that they did this in any sense. They didn't have to, but they did it. And I'm glad they did, because I like the scale of it. And he just has a strong presence to him. I mean, look at the wings, look at the guns. And it's not so floppy like the original toy either. So, yeah, I love this thing. There is one thing I don't like about this toy, and it's the size. It is the Siege/Earthrise Astro Train. Oh, was this a huge surprise for me? I did not expect myself to love it as much as I do. The alt modes are proper, not like the Titans Returns toy. And his robot mode, it just looks so clean and elegant, but he's got all these little touches of details and panels and everything going on. I like the weapons going on for this. I just don't feel like it's a later class price point toy. I feel like they just added stuff to try and make it later class, which it still is argued if it even is. Although I also don't put it in the Voyager class because there's some complicated things going on here. There's a lot of parts going on with this, so it's kind of confusing where he fits in, but either way, as just an Astro Train, I like it. You all knew this was going in the list. Studio Series Shockwave. I am a Shockwave fanatic, if you guys don't realize. I love this figure. Ooh, he's just so powerful. I love the molding, the sculpting on the face. What was that? That was a piece of wood. Don't know what that was doing there. But man, he just looks so powerful. The reason why this isn't higher on my list is because I think he's got too much gray going on, and some of the rubbery bits kind of ruin it, and I don't like the feet. But otherwise, oh, it is so good on the shelf. Thank you to TFA1024 for this one. It is Siege Impactor. Now, I knew I was going to love this thing because I got the 3-pack with the other Impactor, but I decided to put this one because it's the proper Autobot one, and I actually really do like the head. And the coloring, the fact that it's Impactor. I know some people argue that we should have got someone else, like Neil Nose or something, but Impactor, I've always wanted a proper Impactor, and I think that this looks wonderful. I love the molding, the sculpting. The transformation is, you know, kind of fun. It's a little basic, but still not bad. And it's Impactor. So this is a recent one. It is Earthrise Snapdragon. I was not expecting to put this on the list, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. There's a few things that I'm just iffy about with the transformation, but otherwise, I think my only other problem is the elbows. They don't really bend too far, and they really should. But either way, he still has that Titan Master gimmick, which I think they're calling it a Headmaster again. Still, I don't find it that old, and the look, the design, the coloring is great. He looks good next to 8-Face. Yeah, I really like this thing. A last-minute addition because I completely forgot that I got this year. Studio Series Sideswipe. Oh, I love this. I love it. I love it a lot. I've always wanted a Studio Series Sideswipe, and when they announced it, I really wanted it, but then my stores completely skipped out on it, and it was impossible for me to get, and then Hasbro had to send me something, but they didn't have the proper toy, so they sent this instead. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with that. This is a wonderful piece. The only thing that I don't like about it is the coloring. It's got too much of that dull gray, but other than that, it is so nice, even for Studio Series. I've had some problems with Studio Series figures in the past, but this one, they just nail it. I really need to get his brother at some point. Earthrise Run Amok. Oh my goodness. It is not a perfect toy, let me tell you that, but what is? And, oh, he just looks so good. And I've always wanted to run amok and run about a proper one that wasn't just a repaint of some other figure. No, I wanted a brand new mold for these two. And it's a lot of fun, you know. The transformation has some things that are a little bit iffy, especially pulling down the backpack. I do not like that step because I feel like I'm going to break it, but otherwise, there's some interesting stuff going on. I do not like the fact that when you're rolling him, his chest gets in the way, so he's constantly scraping the ground, but his robot mode, the look of it, the presence, the white color against the black, oh, he really looks nice. Thank you, Danny Dolphin, for this one. Hotlink. I had to put in one of the Siege Seekers. I just had to. And Hotlink is probably the best choice. The purple and black color scheme just really blend well with this toy. It's got this kind of neon essence, this dark tone to it. It's like it's made out of dark energon, but it's not. And the orange contrast is really nice against it. I mean, I've praised this mold constantly, so there's not really much for me to say. It's just obvious why I like this. Thank you to Justin Yates for this one. It is the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. I really do like this thing. There are a couple of things that I felt could have been improved, and I feel like that fatigue of, oh, I love this, this is creative, this is nice, this is the best Optimus Prime kind of faded away, but it's still good. I'm not saying it's bad whatsoever. It's just, you know, it's still Optimus Prime. It looks good, and it looks like what it should be. And the transformation has some interesting stuff going for it. It is really well made for its time, because usually with Transformers toys, especially for the movies, they don't really nail it at the start, but they did a pretty good job. I don't know how this topped every other Studio Series figure that I got this year, but it is Studio Series Bumblebee movie Jeep Bumblebee. I don't know what it is about it. It's just very cute, very charming, but I love the feet design. You know, he's got big, hefty boots for a figure of his size. And the head sculpt works. The Jeep look overall actually really fits Bumblebee. And it's so much better than the Volkswagen one. I mean, there's no competition. It's a solid Bumblebee if you need to get one. Yes, it is the crossover Back to the Future DeLorean Gigawatt, or Gigawatt, whatever you want to call him. Oh my god, I love the DeLorean, and the fact that they made it a Transformer. That really hits it. Really hits it home. I love this thing. There are a couple of flaws to it, especially with this little Mr. Fusion thing and the alt mode. It doesn't really want to stay attached, but otherwise, I mean, I love the look of him. The flux capacitor on the chest is a really smart idea, and the fact that he's a remold of the Sideswipe and it looks this good, it's pretty impressive to me. I like it. Top 5. I really need to put it out there that this figure made top 5. Pretty sure there's a lot of people screaming at me in the comment section, but whatever. Earthrise Cliffjumper. There are certain things that I do not like about this toy. I do not like the parts forming backpack. I think it's a terrible idea. And the transformation can get kind of finicky going into alt mode. But he, well, makes up for it. I love the adorable look of this character. The fact that Cliffjumper came before Bumblebee and it's a proper mold this time around. The coloring, I think, is good. And he's just got this nice charm to him. I don't even mind that he's a deluxe class figure because I feel like there's more going on with this compared to a Legends class toy. But otherwise, I love the fact that he still fits with that Siege gimmick. You know, he's got the proper holes and weapon ports and blast effect ports and all that. The bazooka is large and I kind of like it for Cliffjumper. It's a really enjoyable figure that I have a hard time putting down. Really nice. This figure was sent by Crimson Raptors. This is Siege Ratchet. Yeah, this wasn't really available out here except on EB Games, and that was like a short while. I wasn't able to snatch it, but yes, finally got a Siege Ratchet, and this is probably the best use of that mold, especially compared to the Earthrise ones, which are a little off. But I love the accessories going on with this. I love how he's not a straight-up repaint of Ironhide, and I'm not just talking about the head or the use of colors. There are certain panels and pieces that are completely different compared to Ironhide for no reason. They just did it, and I'm not complaining about that. It's such a nice toy, and I gotta say, I think the only flaw with it is I wish the light gray was a little bit darker just to kind of differentiate the color scheme of the overall toy, but otherwise, I mean, he is the superior version of this mold. This is based on one of my favorite movies of all time, and I still, even today, can't believe this figure got made. Ectotron, which transforms into the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, and you can still kind of get it with the new one, but I really cannot believe they made this. I know it's not a perfect toy, I know it's kind of simple, but that is totally fine for me if they get the alt mode right, which I feel like they did. And I love the fact that the front of the car is right here on the shoulder, so you still get that presence of the car mode even in the robot form. I love the paint deco, I like the use of the jumpsuit, or whatever you want to call it, in the robot mode, the elements to that, the name tag, even the goggles up here on the head, and, you know, the weapon, of course, is really well done. I love this thing. I know it took me a while to get it, but I got it, and man, do I love it. It is the Siege Jetfire. Oh, I wanted the classic cartoony look for Jetfire, and I wanted him to be big. That's why I wanted to have a toy from the Transformers Generations toy line, and they nailed it. I like the original Leader Class Jetfire. I thought it was pretty good. But this is what I wanted out of a Jetfire, and it's in the Siege line, so it's got all those weapon elements and port systems. The alt mode is really fun. I mean, it's kind of messy at the bottom, but it's got the elements there. And the robot mode, it's full-on Jetfire, and it's amazing. Number 1, again, is a Siege figure, but it is pretty much the deciding factor of when I said, man, this Siege line is so good that I have to get it because I love it so much and I haven't really been too disappointed by it. And I jumped the gun on this. I've gotten many Titan class figures before, but I fully paid for this one. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It is the Siege Omega Supreme. Now, I really want to get the Scorponok at some point, but look at this thing. That is Omega Supreme. There is no doubt by it. It's not like it's got creative touches to make it look somewhat like Omega Supreme, but still. No, that looks like Omega Supreme, straight up. And, you know, it still has its Siege elements. You know, it's got Siege detailing with the panels and all this. It's very sharp on the face sculpt, but that's Omega Supreme right there. I love the fact that it transforms into its separate things, which people are saying, oh, it's parts forming. Well, he transforms into a rocket, and then a station, and then, you know, the track, and then the little tank thing. So it kind of needs that parts forming element if it's multiple things. You know, you can't just have it all as one and expect to play with that. No, you gotta have them as separate things. I guess the track you can kind of see as that, but even then they kind of work around that by having this as some sort of modular element to the toy. It is pristine, it is nice, it is bulky, it is hefty. It's not as tall as the Fortress Maximus, but I feel like it doesn't need to be. I feel like Fortress Maximus can be the tallest Titan out there, and that's perfectly fine. And I love the flare effects. I like the little Micromaster that it comes with. I'm blown away by this toy. So that is my list. What do you guys think? Please comment below, let me know, and do your own list. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I will see you guys next time.